Welcome to Soaps.com. I'm Kristen Burt. You know her as Sami Brady on Days of Our Lives, and of course, Hannah Swenson on the Hallmark Channel. But Alison Sweeney is now tackling a fun new role on Lego Masters Jr.
So I'd love to ask, I know that besides stepping on Lego pieces with your kids when they were younger, what was your level of expertise when it comes to Lego?
Okay, not expert at all. Like, I thought I knew Legos. I had built a lot of Legos with my kids. I had bought, kits, and my son Ben and I would sit there and build, Star Wars pieces and buildings. And he was really into being creative and like coming up with his own villages and whatnot. So I really thought I knew what I was doing. And then it turned out, no, I was sorely mistaken. Those kids, AJ, they taught me a lot that I didn't know.
So that makes me curious then, what made you say yes to the show? I mean, obviously it looks fun, but I would be so nervous because my level of expertise is probably a -1 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah. So I said, well, first of all, it's fun. I'm a super competitive person. I love games. I love saying yes to doing fun adventures like that. It's just different and fun. And it sounded like a blast, and getting to work with the kids who really do know Legos, I sort of figured like, they'll tell me what to do. It'll be fine. And so I just, and any chance to be part of a game like that, like, it was just such a great opportunity. I was so excited. And it turned out to be just as fun as I thought it would be. It was such a blast.
Were you nervous about guiding the contestants at all? Because in watching some of the episodes, it's amazing to me how skilled these kids are, how creative they are, how smart they are. And I'm like, am I offering advice? Like, I wouldn't know if I could do it.
Right. I really came into it feeling like I was the sous chef. I'm the helper. And I'm like, I felt my role was to sort of help facilitate, help get stuff there, and let them, let their creativity shine. And also maybe help, I'm a mom. So I sort of thought I could like help out with time management and sort of managing expectations. Because I thought one of the things in even just watching the adults play on Lego Masters was people run out of time. And that's true of like all game. I do feel I'm a game, competition show aficionado. So I feel like people run out of time. There's a whole strategy to not just doing it in real life, but now applying that to the rules of a show. And so I thought I could be helpful in like navigating that with them. And I didn't realize like some of my job would be being a mom. Like that was actually an important role in working with these two brothers. They were hilarious and so talented and so creative, but they did need some parenting from time to time.
A little bit of sibling rivalry sometimes. But also, I kind of, what you just touched upon, like the pressures of the time limits stressed me out a little bit. And also managing the big emotions. I was so moved by not only the competitive spirit, but the sportsmanship and even some of the tears that came along with this. That surprised me.
I know. It surprised me too. And that is the beauty of working with kids who are so sincere, and how we all felt, Ravi and Andy and Jordin and I, like, and Porsha, we were like, it was devastating for us to feel, just standing there waiting to find out what the judges were going to decide. All of a sudden, just like, it doesn't matter for you. All you care about is for these kids, and they put themselves out there. They were willing to take a chance. And now, now's the moment. And it was, and both the highs and lows, and right. The beauty of the sportsmanship of them supporting someone who didn't have the, results that they had wanted, the way that when they got low on time, they would jump in and help someone out from another team. That happened a lot. And just like, so many little moments like that were just so sincere and beautiful and inspirational and funny. I mean, like it just was all the feels.
Well, I have to wonder too. This is such an interesting dynamic. You guys are here as the celebrity, like team leaders, but they are totally in awe of the Brickmasters, who are the real celebrities to them.
Yeah, absolutely. We were not impressive to them at all. So we were just the adult there, like with bigger hands, like could run back and forth. I mean, it was all about like, just being the runner for those kids. And we were all in awe of the Brickmasters. I mean, that was just a really cool part of it, to have them there and have Kelly there, just supporting them and giving good advice. It was just such a fun part of the show.
Were you and some, like Porsha and Andy and everyone, were you offering each other advice too of like, what should we do? Or, how do we get through this?
Yeah. Well, sometimes it was more just commiserating. We would, so the bins are over at one end of the stage, and then you have your setup with your kids, like, in, your building, and then they send you off to get like 6 maroon Legos that are double wide 2-hole, and then you're like, oh, I don't know which one that is. And then you get to the bins, and then Andy's there, like he's looking for a bin, through something, and I'm looking for something. And then we just have this moment of looking at each other like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then, hopefully you could sort of share together. Like, I think that's the color they want. Oh, okay, great. And then off you go back. And so we would have these little moments by the bins of just, what's happening right now.
So now I need to know, what is your favorite Lego building technique that you've learned? Because these are amazing. I've learned so much just from watching.
No, it was really impressive to watch them. Also, how many different types of Lego pieces there are. So what I really remembered from doing it with Ben when he was little, and even from my brother, like a long time ago, is that you would just sort of like fill it in and stack up bricks and make a house. But these kids had such a brilliant strategies so that you're not wasting a bunch. You don't have time to fill in and make the interior of the structure. So you have to design something that's just around the outside, and then but also provide enough strength in the structure so that it will hold up whatever, dragon or whatever you're trying to put on top of it. And they really had strategy to those key structural pieces that built the whole the design of what they were coming up with, and then also just color coordinating, really making it pop in a way that I might have said I'm sure white or cream or it's not close enough to a ivory, and they're like, no, that's not the right color, so they really they left no stone unturned. They really had strategy for every element of their design.
That's incredible. And, even guiding them through some of the themes where some of them were familiar with some of the themes. I don't want to spoil any of it. And others were I've never seen this before.
Well, that was such an interesting thing because, some of them were universal. We all understood. And then, it was just, by the way, you do feel like a kid again, walking out onto that stage and whatever the theme was. I mean, when you watch the show, it's so impressive, but to be in it, immersed in it, you feel like a little kid at Legoland. You're like, oh my gosh, it's all around me, and the colors and the designs and what they're asking you to do. The stunts that these Lego machines can build. The first time, I've seen the volcano or whatever, car ones or whatever, but these kids knew how to do that. They knew how to make ones that could, launch off a thing or, helicopter down or whatever, hang off I was like, is that real? We can really do that? And they're like, oh yeah, it takes the 2 train engine pieces, and if you mix them together with the other thing, we can get it above the ground, hanging from the air. And you're like, wait, really? That's something we're going to make right now? It was just really incredible.
I know. I was thinking these are all of our future engineers and architects, people in STEM. I'm like, the future is very bright. So what did you learn about yourself in working with the kids?
Well, I was quickly reminded how to, be a gopher, how to follow instruction and do what I'm told. And then, I'm a middle child. So I've always sort of navigated that idea of helping other people to communicate with each other. And as a mom, I found myself, I had to remind myself, these are not my children. And also you're on TV. So rein it in. And my kids were laughing at me from home. When I would call them at night, they were like, Mom, just keep it together. Don't let them see the real mom come out. And I was like, oh, come on. I like it was so funny. We had such a great time laughing about the moments where those kids, you know, sometimes their real relationship and their sibling rivalry would get the better of them. And I'm looking at that clock like we're running out of time here. Like we wrap this fight up so we can get back to the game. And you know, just walking through that with them and finding a way to navigate their dynamic and learning them, because I just met AJ and Zach like, you know, the day before, and now we're being thrust into this very accelerated, you know, tension filled event. And then on top of it, I mean, as fun as it is for me, and as much as I would love to, you know, have a win in this category, like it mattered to them. It was an 11 for them. You know, I mean, and then they were so impressed by, you know, the Brickmasters, by Kelly, by where we were, and then by how good all the other Lego Lego builders were, because part of it is, you know, you come from wherever you've been building Legos and you were the best kid on the block, like, you know, and then you're now amongst the best of the best. And all of a sudden you're looking around like, oh, that's a really good idea. Like, is my idea as good as theirs? And that's, maybe for some of those kids, the first time they had really faced that feeling, and to overcome that and be committed to your own creativity and believe in yourself. That was a huge lesson to help them navigate and to be a part of. Was, you know, beautiful.